What's up, everybody? It's the Big Cat. We're back. Yeah, just wanted to open some packs this morning. Was kind of cleaning some stuff and remembered we got these, and I couldn't remember if this was Prime Day or some kind of big sale online. I've had these for a couple months, forgot about them, and was like, you know what? Let's go back and check out some Brothers War Collector's Booster Packs and just see what we got here. It's been almost a year, about a year since this set came out, so you know, schematic artifacts and transformers and who knows what else in here before the big 30th year of all kinds of crazy stuff with Project Booster fun. But you know, we're kind of about to say goodbye to the current era of Magic with some of the box changes and whatnot, so figured why don't we get into some collector's boosters here. So chill out, join me, crack some packs. These are US packs too, so kind of got that stiff wrap on them. We'll see. Beautiful foil tokens in this set. I love playing with the Brothers War Commander decks, so always some great tokens here. We'll kind of go through the commons and uncommons pretty quickly. You know, Brothers War didn't have the biggest impact on Standard. I know there's some fun stuff being rediscovered. Iker Moon Gauntlets kind of bumbling under the surface. Beautiful lands though, look at that. That little mech going to battle there. Our first rare is Soul Partition, beautiful foil. For as long as that card's remained exiled, you can play it. Costs 2 more. Interesting. Soul Partition, have not heard much from that card. Beautiful little underground river though. These are always nice. Got a little box of these pain lands, but you know, I bet those will stay pretty low for a long time. Oh, nice. Mishra, Eminent One, little mythic right there. The little commander Mishra. It's a pretty fun card. He's pretty aggro, does awesome things with mana rocks when you play him. So he's been a lot of fun when I've played the Urza and Mishra deck together, and a great aggro commander. Really some cool fast stuff comes out of him. Millstone is our first retro artifact there. Just a classic. Takes me back to when I was a kid. Little foil Millstone, Chromatic Star. There we go. And, ooh, very nice. Wormcoil Engine. Always nice to have one of those. I think that's a set now I've gotten from Brothers War, but never upset to have Wormcoil Engine. I remember when these were quite expensive and almost dang impossible to buy on Magic Online for a while. They were just so used everywhere, but great card there. So a little mythic action. Megatron, not bad at all. Very nice. The Tyrant himself. And our very last card, the foil alt art, is Queen Caleb and Krug. Discard cards, all cards in your hand, and draw that many. Choose an artifact creature card with mana value 1. Do the same for 2 and 3. Interesting. Well, that's just some interesting little sweetest stuff there. We'll just kind of lay those out. And again, beautiful token. It's always a power stone, but lovely little soldier. All right, next one. Not bad though. Got a Wormcoil Engine. It's a decent, always a decent pack when you get Wormcoil Engine. Beautiful art though. Some great art in this set. It's been a while since I've even thought about Brothers War. Some beautiful foils. Lauren. You know, we're looking for big Lauren, the rare. Beautiful planes there. Love that. Diabolic Intent. You know, this card seems some play here and there. Yeah, that's just become kind of a new tutor staple. Legion to Ashes. Exile target non-land permanent and all tokens with the same name. Interesting. Have not seen much play with this, but I think of some good utility times that you'd want that. The Machine God's Effigy. This is a really cool card. This card saw a little bit of a surge over the last year with just some shenanigans it can do when it comes in as a copy and taps for blue. So good to see ya. Ivory Tower is our foil retro frame there. Man, another just great throwback. Takes old players like me way back. Good old Ivory Tower. Playing those. Self-assembler, not bad at all. And Ramos Dragon Engine, so another mythic there. I don't know much about Ramos in this schematic. Whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 on him for each of that spell's colors and remove 5 and add double Wooburg. I mean, that doesn't... Do you cast that spell Conflux for Wooburg and then instantly double Wooburg out of Conflux and cast all those spells you just picked up? Is that the move? Another Transformer, there's Blitzwing. You know, we're definitely got our eye out for any foils. Would love to see another Shattered Glass. We have quite a few of those, but a foiled Shattered Glass is something I've still yet to witness in person, so would love to see that. or a serialized artifact. So that was one thing getting ready to make this video, was just realizing that there is, ooh, beautiful, beautiful. That's a good one, you guys. Foil schematic Helm of Hosts. So nice pack there. Helm of Hosts, still so many fun shenanigans. There's like a weird misprinted dot. Do you guys see that down there at the bottom? This sheet is notoriously rough, although this one looks a little better, so I wonder if it's a reprint, you know, a second wave. These aren't as bad as they were at first, but look at that. You can see something was missed there, and the foil layer is showing through on a printer's mistake there, but still a beautiful card. That great old school retro artifact frame looks fantastic in foil. And Helm of the Host, fantastic card. Foil schematic Helm of the Host, not a bad day. And there's our Power Stone with a Thopter. Need those for those Urza and Mishra decks, certainly. Okay, well, let's keep going. This has actually been a pretty sweet little box so far. And we always get our hopes up for the big whammy, you know, anything serialized or a foil shattered glass, which we're reaching for the moon, but let's see. All right, beautiful mountain there. Look at that. These lands look great. Get some really cool light today. Kayla's Reconstruction. You know, this card sees a little love on occasion. Just look at the top 7 X artifacts with mana 3 or less. You know, in a deck playing a lot of rocks or little utility type things, this is a great way to reach deep in white. Drafna, founder of Latnam. Return target artifact you control to its owner's hand. Copy target artifact spell you control. Not bad. Those are cheap abilities. So, pretty good way to blink a guy in, blink a guy out. Sanwell, Avenger Ace. As long as the artifact you control is attacking, prevent all damage that would be dealt to him. Whenever he becomes tapped, exile the top 6 cards. You may cast a vehicle or artifact from among them. That's not bad. A little way to dig deep. Go quick, dig deep. And Pristine Talisman, looking great as always. Beautiful little retro frame artifact. You know, again, I'm wondering if this was like a second print run of these. And I probably did buy them on Prime Day, a couple Prime Days ago, because look at how much better these are. When we first opened these around launch, they were terrible. So this might be a little cleanup wave, which maybe should be, because I have a Foundry Inspector on the shelf, guys, that I can grab right behind me. That is probably one of the most misprinted cards I've ever had, simply because it shows the white on the sheet. Actually, hold on one moment. I'll grab that. Yeah, so this was like a launch Foundry Inspector. Look at that. It's like the white of the sheet. So the full bleed of the margin and the white of the sheet. Like, look at how severely in cut on the border that is. And I mean, we've all seen those like half cut cards, but this is bad. So good job. Whoever's there, quality control, they stepped in. I mean, you can see that's a night and day change there. So good stuff. Looking better, guys. Psychosis Crawler. Man, this is if you're old like me. Back when we called Commander EDH, before they started selling Commander products, this guy was a cleaner, man. Psychosis Crawler. In your bad Dimir deck, you would keep people down with that. Jetfire, Ingenious Scientist. He's ingenious. He's welding himself, apparently. And a Well of Lost Dreams in the foil slot. Not bad. Not bad at all. Well of Lost Dreams, a little utility card. Beautiful, another little soldier. All right, keep going. Okay. Again, some great art in this set. Crispy clear. These cards look great. Gruesome Realization. Fun. All right, Island. Very nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Again, these lands look awesome in this lighting today. Very great. Little foil mech lands. Harbin, Vanguard Aviator. This guy saw some love for a while in blue-white soldiers. I don't know if that... I don't think that's been a thing for a while, especially once they were like, standard is just the same meta forever and all the decks are black, but... Not a bad guy. I don't know if he gets played in that like Esper Legends either, because he's so soldier-centric, but not a bad soldier. Transmigrant's Crown. 2/0, equip creature dice, draw a card. So kind of like they're shot at a fixed Skull Clan. Terror Ballista. Whenever Terror Ballista attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target creature an opponent controls. That's not a bad ability. His unearth cost is cheap too. Pulling this out of the graveyard as removal, like, I mean, it's not super efficient removal, but it is an interesting way to get some removal out of body. There's our Chromatic Star and our Millstone. And, oh, a Door to Nothingness. Yep, good old door to nothingness. Target player loses the game. Salty. Cool. Hey, there's a foil. Foil Flame War Brash Veteran. We have quite a few of Flame War, but she's caught on. And these always look great in foil. Look at that cool little motorcycle. Flame War Brash Veteran. Very cool. And Skitterbeam Battalion. Very nice. Another mythic there in foil for us. Trample Haste. When it enters the battlefield, if cast, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. You know, there was some hype on this card, but I don't think it really went on to do much. And a little Power Stone Zombie card. Okay. Clay Revenant. Rust Goliath. Look at those. Urza's rebuff. He was buffed, then debuffed, and then he rebuffed again. Blackwood Armor. Classic spell. We used to play those back in the day. On a Titania's Chosen and go to town. Swamp, very beautiful. Oh, Titania, very nice. Nice little mythic. She's 1/2 of the Soul of Argoth. What does she become? Titania, Gaia Incarnate, but beautiful foil there. That's a nice card to pull this morning. Steel Seraph. This is a very cool angel. This card's seen a slight price increase, I think, with all the angel hype in the last year or so. Just because it's an angel, and just about every angel got a little juice with some good angels getting some tribal support and things they needed to just become more of a deck and commander. They've always been popular, but yeah, angels have been on the rise. Target creature you control against, you know, not bad to throw some abilities. It can be cast very cheap for its prototype, or just become a big-bodied angel when you need it. Very good. Cool. Thopter Shop. Not a bad card. Whenever one or more artifact creatures you control, draw a card. That's a really useful part of this. Making a Thopter not bad. You need those bodies, especially in an Urza deck where you're trying to really have a lot of go wide to get those constructs powered up. But that ability to just have when one or more artifact creatures you control die, draw a card each turn is a nice way to just, like, you know, flip your Skull Clamp and turn in an extra draw or something like that. So Thopter Shop's actually, it's played a little better than it reads in my experience. There's our little Ornithopter there. Classic little schematic, beautiful foil. Mishra's Bauble, very nice. Very nice, you know, little utility card. And the eggs builds. Like those. Another Well of Lost Dreams there. Nothing too exciting. Ooh, very nice. Shattered Glass Optimus Prime. Very cool. Very cool. That's a great card. Especially learning more about Shattered Glass being I didn't know this, an alternate universe of Transformers where all the good guys are bad guys. So that's why, like, he's got an axe for a hand and he's all purple and silver. It's like evil Optimus Prime in Shattered Glass. We'll flip him over there. You can see he's a dope evil truck. I believe that bullet hole in the glass on Optimus in this world is canonical. So very cool. Very cool. Shattered Glass Optimus. Very nice. All right. And Astral Cornucopia and foil. Very cool. We'll put him in our Transformers pile here. So very nice there. And a Power Stone. Cool. So Shattered Glass Optimus. Boy, I would love to see, though. And usually there's maybe 1 or 2 Shattered Glass per boxes, I think. It's about how common they are. But I would love to see a foil Shattered Glass in person. I have not seen one, and they look really good. I'm sure they're amazing in real life. So yeah, just that neon ink would be so cool. Fateful Handoff. Draw cards equal to the mana value of target artifact or creature you control. An opponent gains control of that permanent. There's probably some really, fun shenanigans with that. You know, hand off a stuffy doll with the player target already locked in. And, you know what I mean? Like, hand off the stuffy doll, draw 5. That's a fun card. Liberator. You know, this guy saw some hype for a little while too. He kind of always like fluctuated in the middle. It seemed like not quite bulk, not quite something, kind of fluctuating around. I mean, he lets you cast artifacts and colorless spells with flash. That's a really good utility on 3, and you can flash him in. So like even Eldrazi decks, I could see. I mean, it's Vidalcan Ori with flash for 1 less, right? Like in your colorless Eldrazi build, whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it is greater than its power, put a +1/+1 counter on it too. I mean, like, honestly, I think this thing, you look at it and people are like, well, that's not that powerful. But like when you think about this more as something like Vidalcan Ori, just a little utility card. It's doing a ton of favors for you. It can block. It's going to have evasive damage that builds up over time while you focus on what you should really be trying to do. The context of bring it in for 3 with flash and then cast artifacts with flash. Maybe the most redundant thing you could do is have 7 mana untapped and flash this in at the end of your opponent's turn to flash into Vidalcan Orrery and then untap for your turn and then just draw a go and smile. But yeah, anyways, that's so interesting card, Liberator. March of Progress. Choose an artifact creature you control for each creature chosen this way. Create a token with Overload. Not a bad commander spell. Another foil Ivory Tower. Soul Guide Lantern. When it enters the battlefield, exile target card. So some graveyard hate. True graveyard hate on this card. You know, kind of a, oh gosh. What's the card I'm thinking from Zendikar block? Relic of Progenitus? What is the card I'm thinking of? The one that nukes graveyards as well. But not a bad card in that way. You know what I mean? Pretty good little graveyard nuke. Another little Psychosis crawler in our schematic frame. You can see how they built it. They were like brain plus jar plus elaborate mechanical spider rig equals Psychosis crawler. Very simple, 3-step process. You need brain, you need jar, you need elaborate mecha spider basis. You know, 2 of those 3 things you might have lying around in your home. And then you just need a brain. RC. I love the cool old school RC art. Oh my God, you guys, boomer moment. I was about to like expand this in real life. I need to take a break from existing. RC Sharpshooter. Look at that. I love classic RC's design though. Like, this may be corny, but you know, back in the 80s, it was always like they need a girl one, whether it's Scarlet on the G.I. Joes or RC for Transformers, or like, at least I guess in current days, one that outwardly depicts that indicators that it identifies female. But what I always thought was like nice about like RC's design was like, it's a cool Transformers design, but it's like using more like organic shapes than just strictly the blocky kind of car build. And RC looks really cool. Painful Quandary, full art foil. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. Boy, Punisher effects, man, they just are not a thing. I think it's bold of Wizards to know and have written articles where they know Punisher effects are bad and still print them, even at rare. It's as though they're tempting you to be like, but if you want to play bad cards, we still... And I know, bad cards need to exist. Bad cards need to exist, but just when like... I mean, Mark Rosewater's probably written 2 or 3 articles where he's talked about the fundamental problem with Punisher cards. So it's strange they still print them. I mean, is this just here to trick someone into ruining their draft? And like, even me, I'm an idiot. I'm like, man, forcing someone to discard in limited is good though. No, at 5, don't play an enchantment that gives your opponent a tactical choice to have the better of the 2 bad outcomes be the one they need in the moment. Like, come on, who are we kidding? Magic isn't about fun or creativity. Magic is about breaking people's spirit by crushing them with efficiently planned cardboard. Beautiful card though. Gosh, look at that planes. This reminds me of the board game Scythe so much. I love that. Boy, this might be one of my new favorite arts like this, with these stormy skies. Love that. Gosh, golly. The Temporal Anchor. 3 blue and 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 2. Whenever you choose to put 1 or more cards on the bottom of your library while scrying, exile that many cards from the bottom of your library. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with it. Okay, so it's kind of like a little Tuck world where you're going to hide some cards out. A little vulnerable being a legendary artifact. That's kind of scary. Another Queen Kayla. Disciple of Kailas Nin. Kalis Nin? When there's battlefield, each player chooses up to 5 permanents. All permanents other than that phase out. Permanents can't phase in. Wow. You know, this is an interesting card. Like, kind of a riff on Teferi's protection, right? Like, this maybe not being the most cutthroat commander card, but if you like to play those interesting commander cards that make the whole table stop and think and play a mini game to strategize and how they're going to get around killing Kailas Nin to let their stuff phase back in and who's going to do that. Fun card. I really like that design. That's great. Sigil of Valor. Burnished Heart. Very nice, man. What a classic drop. And Nice to see a cool little alt art reprint of Burnished Heart. I remember when Burnished Heart first appeared, and it was just like, dude, people are sleeping on this thing. I mean, it's 3, you know, you play your Soul Ring turn 1, right? Turn 2, you play Burnished Heart. Turn 3, you go crack your Burnished Heart, ramp 2. Now you're like ready to have like turn 6 level plays in Commander on turn 4, right? That's kind of its job. Adaptive Automaton. This card used to be a lot more of something, you know? It's a fun tribal card, but I think these days there's so many good tribal creatures that it's hard to fit these sort of like generic guys in unless, you know, you're building like Oops All Lords type of stuff, you know? Goldbug, humanity's ally. Look at him, he's helping. He's there, he's our friend. Cloud Key, a little foil Cloud Key. It's not bad, you know? Makes stuff cost less. I've never seen a Cloud Key played, to be honest. Seems decent. Seems good enough to be decent and be the exactly like the 105th card for a good commander deck. Like, you know, maybe if you need some real cost reduction, you're trying to abuse a combo, I could see some like Animar style builds that maybe want that, or even something with lower cost mechanics that's, you know, a bunch of very cheap Elvish Visionary type cards that you just cast for free somehow. Something like that. A Yoyan Medic, Thopter Assembler, Thopter Architect, Urza, Power Stone Prodigy. Dude, he's good at that game, Power Stone. Urza had a Dreamcast as a kid. He's ready for Power Stone. Ooh, boy. Foil still Seraph. Very nice. Beautiful card. Very cool. I love the sort of like sad, dusky minimalism of some of the art in this set. Dennis Perco. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but it's very cool, beautiful art you did there, Dennis. Hajar, Loyal Bodyguard. He costs 2 mana for a legendary 3/3. When you sacrifice some legendary creatures you control, get +1/+0 and gain indestructible. Man, should I play this in Joda? He's super cheap, so you're like always going to cascade into him. And he's another 2-drop, so you do get him when you drop the 3s. Man, this guy might be Joda playable. The fact that he gives your legends that effect on a sacrifice and a pretty buff bod for a low cost. This guy might be a good early curve piece for that Joda 5-color Legends Matters deck. I'm going to keep that in mind. That's a good one there. Wire Surgeons, they have fear. They're 6/5 for 6. Each artifact creature card in your graveyard has Encore. Not bad, not bad. Interesting recursion. I used to be such a hyper recursion player. Now it just seems so corny. Just kill them when it's in play, you know? Why worry about putting it in the graveyard first? That used to be such a cool thing to do. But here we are, back to these old print shenanigans. You can see this is a very off-center card on this liquid metal coating. You know what I mean? Like, look at our border here versus our border here. Doesn't look too bad top to bottom, but no means perfect. I mean, take a look at that. You can see. Looks a little off-center there, too. So, well, better, not great, better. But these were rough, guys. If you hadn't watched me open these, or you want to go back and check them out, I'll add this in a playlist with my other Brothers War stuff. But this particular print sheet for the retro artifacts was bad news. Probably some of the lowest quality control of the cards I've seen over the last like 4 years. I think it's very easy to say, like, notoriously bad. Well of Lost Dreams. Blaster, Combat DJ. And how do you know he's a DJ? Because of basketball. Duh. DJs play basketball. Temporal Anchor, another one. We didn't need it. We didn't want it, but we got it. And it's in foil. Yay. Foil. Whatever. Ravage token. This might be worth a little bit. You know, it's a Power Stone, but it's got Ravage on the other side. And Ravage plays basketball too. That's how you know he likes hanging out on the basketball court. That must be from like a screenshot of TV or something. Like, or Ravage likes basketball. Maybe he does. Maybe that's what that transforms into. Basketball. Okay. Ravage. What a guy. All right, another that mountain we've seen before. Razorlash Transmigrant. It's a 3/1 for 2. It can't block. Reminds you of Scrap Heap Scrounger. For 4 and 2 black, you return it from your graveyard with a +1/+1 counter, and it costs 4 less if an opponent has 4 more non-basic lands. So for 2 black, you get a 4/2 from your graveyard that can't block. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I think it might take Scrap Heap Scrounger over this guy. It's a hard, tough call, though. Scrap Heap plays well, too, so maybe this guy isn't totally bad. I'd have to play him to find out. It's in the right deck, you know. The Stasis Coffin. Oh, I wish I had that. 3 colorless. 2 colors, tap, exile Stasis Coffin. You gain protection from everything until your next turn. Boy, they should really check out this card called the One Ring they printed. That's this with, like, a bunch of other abilities, and, like, you don't even top it. Yeah. Yeah. Geology Enthusiast. Oh, I have to give this to my friend. Okay, I've got a friend. She likes rocks, and I'll be like, look, here's another Magic card that's you. Not just someone like fighting evil gummy worms or a cheeky house mouse, but a Geology Enthusiast. At the beginning of your end step, create a Power Stone. For 6 colors, draw a card and put a plus. What the? I guess that's what you do with all the Power Stones? Dude, this card is not very good. What is going on? Okay. Swiftfoot Boots, lovely. Foil Swiftfoot Boots with a classic art. Not bad. Hexproof and Haste. Some decks really, really need that. Ichor Wellspring. This card is fantastic with Mishra. Enters the battlefield, it draws a card, then you turn it into a creature, a copy of it, drawing a card, and then you attack, it dies, and draw another card. Like, Mishra makes these little Wellspring stuff so good, and I love this diagram. Look at that. Find Liquimetal Flesh Bubble. Take Liquimetal Flesh Bubble to second base. Liquimetal Flesh Bubble will take you to second base. He didn't really even pull his whole arm back, did he? Well, you know, sometimes you got to pay the price to have a good time. But this is wild. You guys, look at that. This should be I hope this is the screen cap for the video. I don't put any effort into these or edit them, so it's whatever YouTube's going to serve up. But this is wild, you guys. Who drew that? Did anyone at Wizards catch that? Another Door to Nothingness. We needed this. You know this card that's like that's like to trap children into thinking it's cool and is never fun, and also will like disappoint your friends and like just make the overall quality of the game you're playing worse. That's so great. I'm glad we found that. And a foil blaster because we like basketball. Let's go basketball. And a Cloud Key because we were just talking about how frequently played. I'm too cynical now. Oh my gosh, guys. I used to try to make, look, Saheeli Filigree Master. Very nice, very nice. I like Saheeli. I always try to come to these with positivity. I'm in a very cynical place in life right now, so that's why we're just cracking packs. And now you're going to hear me give cynical hot takes on Magic cards and not just be like, the art direction's great, but maybe the cards shouldn't be so expensive and bad. Swamp, a Skitterbeam, and foil. We've seen our old friend Skitterbeam. Ooh, very nice, though. Mishra, Tamer of Makfawa. In the little, I forgot they had these prototype treatments. That's so funny. Red, black, 3. Human Artificer. He's a legend. He has Ward, Sacrifice a Permanent, which is great. And each artifact in your graveyard has an unearth cost. That's a fun card. That's cool. Ashnod. I love her haircut. I love that she's a she. I love that she's this like wild sadist. Like her altar is wild, but just the fact that it's like, no, that's what she does. She's like, she's making human-machine hybrids as a byproduct of the fact that she likes to do sadistic experiments. Oh boy, that says a lot about me that I'm just that excited about her for that. Ashnod the Uncaring. Very cool. The fact that she doesn't care is probably part of what attracts me to this whole concept. It's a 1/4 with Death Touch for 5. It costs Grixis and 2. Whenever you activate an ability or a creature that isn't a mana ability, of an artifact or a creature, whenever one or more permanents were sacrificed, you may copy that ability. Cool. So just getting more out of your sadism. Bonesaw. It's a foil Bonesaw. Bonesaw's ready. Bonesaw is ready. Look at that. There's 2. Bonesaw's ready. Very nice. Oh, cool. Howling Mine. With not the retro art, but the schematic of the old retro art. And I love how derpy the eye, I'm glad they kept the derpy eyes, that thing's like looking out. You know, if you come straight at it, it can't really see you, but on its left or right. You know, I work with a guy who after 5 beers does the same thing. Howling Mine, another Flame War Brash veteran. Cool design, very good. And, oh, very, very nice. Foil Mesmeric Orb. You know, for a long time before this reprint, Mesmeric Orb's price was very high. Great commander staple for 2, but this is beautiful. Foil Schematic Mesmeric Orb. I'm in love. Great. And look at that soldier art. That token rocks. Gorgeous. All right, last 2 packs. Let's see it. Foil shattered glass or a serialized card? I highly, highly doubt it. Why would something good happen? But let's keep going. There's the mountain. Autonomous assembler. You know, I think there's a little hype around this guy for a little while, but I don't know what he's done. But you can prototype him. It keeps its abilities and types. It's just a 2/2, but if you're using its lower ability, it's not bad. Mishra's Command. Choose target player. They may discard up to X cards, then draw for each card discarded. Okay, so you rip that on yourself for a big X. The spell deals X damage. Okay. The spell deals X damage to a planeswalker. Okay. Target creature gets +X/+0 and gains haste. Oh, excuse me. Well, you know, this isn't a bad little combat trick in a red deck that generates a ton of mana. Like, it's not great either. Are you supposed to spend all your mana before you draw a new hand so you can't do anything cool? Okay. Blast Furnace Hellkite. This guy was popular for a while too. Remember when people cared about this card? Yeah. Man, it's like cool. He's got Artifact Offering. He does have Flying and Double Strike, and creatures attacking your opponents have Double Strike is juicy. Swiftfoot Boots, a beautiful schematic. Millstone. Aetherflux Reservoir. Hey, that's a good one. There's some great abusive ways to use this card better, so that's good. We've hit quite a few of our mythics here today in that slot, so not bad in this box. Ratchet. He's a Ratchet. And what do we got here? Perennial Behemoth. You may play lands from your graveyard and others for 2 green. Yeah, that's not bad for 5/7 if that's what you want to do. It's got a Crucible Worlds on it. Man, what a time Magic is, where for 5 you can give Crucible World a body for 5, and it's a 2/7, so it's a decent body, and it has Unearth. And it's like, I just don't really care. Oh boy. It just goes to show. It's not just the words on the cards that make the cards special, kids. Alrighty, final pack. Let's see, do we get something special or is it all just like everything? We're just gonna have a severe moment of post-pack clarity. Misery Shadow. Remember the 5 minutes where people cared about this around launch? Yeah, me too. Sky Strike Officer, another big soldier. He was popular for a little while there. I think people like him in draft in this set. I mean, he's a 2/3 flying for 3 that makes a 1/1 when he attacks, and you can tap 3 soldiers to draw a card. Like, it's not bad. If you got the good soldier draft, this guy is dope. Like, Sardian Avenger. Red and 1, first strike trample. When he attacks, he gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. Whenever an artifact an opponent controls put in the graveyard from the battlefield, he deals 1 damage to that player. Okay, not bad. I guess in like red-green Gruul, like where you're ripping like Bane of Progress or even Rurik Thar, you know, where you just want to punish them for stuff, like, you know, and play very Gruul and be like, only creature, all card bad. That's fun. That's fine. Self-Assembler in foil. Ornithopter, and a Staff of Domination, which actually I just see in more and more infinite combos. Like, Staff of Domination has really gone from like a sleeper card that looked rather ugly, I would say, previously in eras of Magic, just looking at them, but now it's like with how much there's this ability to untap it or untap target creature, like the fact that for 4 mana this become, you know, it just lets you be like, hey, if you can get to 5 colorless, you have an infinite mana loop. Like, this guy will untap whoever's making it for you. So, very cool card. Very nice little combo piece. And, oh, look at that. Another Shattered Glass Prowl. So, we got 2 per box. And I don't know if I said that earlier or not, but that seems to be about the right number. Prowl, looking very nice. I don't think I have Prowl or Optimus, so we might be very close to having the full set of Shattered Glass Transformers. And the last card, the Stone Brain. What happens after you've been hanging out with your buddies too long on Saturday? Just kidding. 2 colorless and tap it after you play it, and it's a legendary. Exile the Stone Brain. Choose a card name. Rub both lobes together and think of a Magic card, if you possibly can. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled. for up to 4 cards. Okay. You know what's funny about this though? Like, okay, hear me out, right? Like normally we don't run a lobotomy effects in Commander because obviously there's only one. But like, oh, but you have to exile it to do this. Yeah, this card sucks. Like, okay, so if this didn't say exile, right? And you could like every turn go into their hand and steal their favorite card, would this be dope? Like just such a salty troll card? This is garbage. Like, lobotomy is better than this. This is total trash. Here you go, everyone. Let's make it a good video. At least you know it's a real card. It has blue core paper, I guess. And anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Normally I try to stay upbeat, but still, it's a cool trip down memory lane. Some Shattered Glass, still some nice reprints in this slot. A lot of cards that don't matter anymore, and total garbage. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good day and a good time. I'll probably open some more of these. Ixalan's coming, and who knows, some wild stuff, sorcery, XYZ. I'll see you guys later. Peace.